This exercise is called the shoulder bridge. It's a great exercise for teaching us how to move through our pelvis and our spine to create beautiful mobility throughout all regions of the lower back, middle back and upper back. It's also a great exercise for targeting and strengthening the gluteals in particular. But when we work and progress through the ranges of shoulder bridge, we are actually going to be using all of the muscles of our back line. So we gain strength through the back line muscles, which help to keep us upright, help to support the lower back, and help to propel us forwards when we're walking and running. It's also a great exercise to try and start teaching us awareness of pelvic stability. So throughout the shoulder bridge, we're aiming to keep the pelvis nice and level, equal from right to left, so that we become more balanced in our everyday movement. So let's get started. There's two versions I'm going to show you today. The first one does involve what we call articulation through the spine, which creates beautiful fluid mobility between each of the individual vertebrae of your back. Let's get going. Come down and lie onto your mat, lying onto your back with your feet hip distance apart. Or for me, I think of lining my heels up with my sitting bones. We've got our feet spread nice and wide into the floor. We're also going to place our arms down long beside us on the floor, and please do relax and allow the shoulder blades to let go and also relax down into the floor. We've got our head resting heavy on the mat, and we also want our rib cage to be really allowing the rib cage to also rest down into the mat. Let's take a few breaths to help us achieve that. So take a big wide breath in, and then allow all the air to escape. As you breathe in this time, think of your rib cage swelling and billowing into the mat underneath you, feeling a greater connection with the back of your rib cage and the mat. And as you exhale, you're exhaling the air and any tension around your neck, shoulders or back to further allow that rib cage to connect down to the mat as well. We think of a neutral spine position before we get moving. So I've got a small little hollow, a natural hollow between my lower back and the mat. And let's begin. We're going to draw attention to our Pilates center by focusing on either gently drawing up through our pelvic floor muscles or engaging deep through our lower tummy and drawing those lower tummy muscles in towards the front of the spine. Holding that connection, we take a breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, you're going to roll the lower back into the mat, scoop up the tailbone, the pelvis, the lower back, the middle back, the upper back, coming to rest as high as is comfortable for you or as high as your shoulder blades. Once you're there, take a breath in. And now on your breath out, we're going to reverse and lower down. Upper back, middle back, lower back, pelvis, tailbone, returning to that neutral arch of our lower back. Breathe in, keep core connected. Breathe out, let it roll a little easier this time, scooping the tailbone, pelvis, lower back, middle back, upper back to shoulder blades if that's available to you. Breathe in to hold and breathe out again. And as you lower down, bone by bone, keep the collarbones wide and anchored to the mat so that the upper body remains broad and relaxed. Again, breath in once you're in your neutral position and breathe out. As you scoop up tailbone, pelvis, lower back, think of gently drawing the sitting bones towards one another. That will help engage your glutes, draw some awareness to the activity there. Take a breath in at the top. And again, keeping broad across the upper chest, back of the neck long as you roll down, bone by bone. Coming to return to that neutral position, keeping the rib cage connected here now. And last one, and really allow your spine to be fluid. Enjoy the movement, visualizing each bone peeling away from your mat seamlessly one by one. Taking a breath in at the top and a breath out as you soften rib by by rib, bone by bone, to return to your neutral starting position. That's our variation 1, where we're allowing that beautiful spinal articulation. There's a second variation I'd like to teach you, which is more of a hip lift, which focuses more on strength of the glutes and of your back line. So we're going to be doing a similar bridge, but without the rolling through the spine. Same start position, connect with your center, checking that you're in neutral. Take a breath in to prepare. And this time, as you breathe out, again, think of the sitting bones drawing together to lift the pelvis and the rib cage up in one piece. Bringing a diagonal from your knees, hips to shoulders. Breath in at the top and breathe out to return. Think of just pivoting or hinging at the hips and placing the rib cage pelvis down in one piece. Breath in at the bottom in your neutral and a breath out. Draw the sit bones together and lift pelvis rib cage in one piece. Breathing in at the top, neck remains nice and long, and exhale as you fold at the hip joint to lower. Return the rib cage, return the pelvis, coming back to neutral. And again, on your next breath out, a lift. We can check that our feet remain evenly anchored to the mat, even weight across the balls of the feet and the heels. Breathe in at the bottom, have a regroup. And breath out to lift. Think of keeping your knees directly under your hips. And if you're finding that challenging or difficult to tell where you are in space, it can help if you just place a little rolled up towel or a ball between your knees. And last one. Exhale to lift. Visualizing that diagonal line, knee, hip, shoulders, breath in at the top, and a breath out. As you lower down in one piece, returning with care to your neutral position. And rest.